Right now, there are over 8 billion people living by the clock. Wake up at 6 o'clock, catch the bus at 7:15, lunch at noon, sleep at 11. Our lives are divided into numbers, minutes, hours, deadlines. But for most of human history, none of those numbers existed. There were no watches, no alarms, no glowing screens telling you that you were late. There was only the sun, the sky, and the slow turning of the seasons. People woke when the light arrived. They worked while it lasted. And when darkness came, the day was over. No one checked the time, because time wasn't something you looked at. It was something you felt. Morning wasn't 7 a.m. It was birds beginning to sing, dew on the grass, sunlight spilling over the horizon. Evening wasn't 6 p.m. It was shadows growing longer, a cooling breeze, the sky slowly turning orange. Nature didn't count the hours. It simply moved. And people moved with it. Then something changed. As civilizations grew, humans needed a better way to measure time. The ancient Egyptians noticed that shadows moved across the ground, so they built sundials. For the first time, people could estimate the passing hours, but sundials only worked when the sun was shining. So people invented water clocks, containers that slowly measured time through dripping water. Others used marked candles, watching the flame slowly consume the hours. But every invention brought us one step further from the sky above us and one step closer to the numbers on a dial. Eventually, mechanical clocks arrived. For the first time, entire towns could hear the same hour. Bells rang from towers. Work began with a bell, ended with a bell. Lives became schedules. Time was no longer a guide. It became a ruler. As clocks became smaller and more accurate, they followed us everywhere, into our homes, into our pockets, onto our wrists. Today, many of us check the time dozens of times a day, sometimes without even realizing it. But deep inside us is a clock much older than anything we ever built, a rhythm shaped by sunlight, darkness, and millions of years of evolution. Our bodies naturally know when to sleep, when to wake, when to rest. Yet modern life rarely listens. We wake up because an alarm tells us to, not because our bodies are ready. We stay awake long after sunset, turning night into day with the flick of a switch. We gained productivity, speed, precision, but we lost something too, a connection to the natural pace of life. The feeling of a day ending because the sun said so, not because a screen did. Imagine explaining modern life to someone from 1,000 years ago, that we carry clocks in our pockets, check them hundreds of times, and sometimes feel anxious because of what they say. They might find that strange. After all, the sun never rushed anyone, the seasons never worried about being late, and the stars never counted how many minutes remained. For thousands of years, humanity lived by the rhythm of nature. The sun told them when to rise, the seasons told them when to plant, and the stars told them when the day was done. Then we built clocks, and little by little, we stopped looking up. Today, we know the exact minute, the exact second, the exact date. But sometimes it feels like we've never been further from time itself, because time was never just numbers on a screen. It was sunlight on your face, a shadow crossing the ground, the changing color of the sky. It was something you experienced, not something you measured. And maybe that's why so many of us feel rushed, even when we're standing still. We mastered the clock, but somewhere along the way, the clock mastered us. And every now and then, when the sun is setting and nobody is checking the time, you can catch a glimpse of how humans lived for thousands of years. Not by the hour, not by the minute, but by the rhythm of the world itself.